If you're finding that a lot of prospects are not hiring you, or they're saying no, or they're hesitating, not getting back to you, and you're just feeling like you're not getting as many clients as you thought, I want to make sure that you are not making some very specific mistakes that tend to repel clients, push them away, scare them away a bit, even if you're doing this completely unintentionally. So here I'm going to cover 10 specific reasons that clients will say no. They will hesitate in hiring you. They'll think twice about it. But I also am going to give you specific fixes that you can do to make sure that you are not sending clients going the other way. So the very first one is operating from a scarcity mindset. And this one is super common. So if you do it, don't beat yourself up. You are not alone in this. This is very common when you have not spoken to a lot of prospects yet. You are a little nervous about that because when you need a client, you're like, oh, please, please, please let this work. I need this income. I need to get this client. They feel it. Believe me, they know. They can feel that desperation. Rather, a business owner is really looking for someone who is confident, not someone who is desperate. So if you're not sure if you are showing up in this way or you think you might be, here's a few things that you can do. The first is that I want you to, and I recognize before I say this is much easier said than done. I get it. It takes practice, but we are going to be intentional about our business, right? So you need to intentionally work on these things. So the first thing I want you to do is detach from the outcome. So if you are about to get on a call with a prospect, detach yourself from the outcome. Whatever happens, happens. I am practicing. So you're going to shift your focus from, I need this client, I need this, I really want this to work, I just want to land this client, I want to get paid, whatever you're saying to yourself in desperation. And I want you to shift that to whatever happens, happens. This is a great opportunity for me to practice my sales skills and my conversations with prospects. Let me show up and offer as much value to this business owner as I can. Let me see what is the most value that I can offer this person on the call. If they were to walk away and I never spoke to them again, would I feel really good about the conversation that I had because of how much value I left them with? So when you shift your focus to being of value and not out of this desperation, I need this client, your whole demeanor shifts, your conversation shift, the words you select are even different. So that's a really big one to practice. You really got to think about that ahead of time. Now, you can also build a simple lead flow so that you don't feel like when you are hanging up with a prospect that may be the last time they ever hear from you or that you ever have a chance to speak with them. How are you engaging with them before the call, during the call, after the call, so that there's not so much pressure? I got to get it right this time. And if they don't say yes right now, they never will. No, because I'm going to have more touch points with them. I maybe sent them an email about what to expect prior to the call. I followed up thanking them for a call and giving them some highlights of what we covered. I gave them some possible next steps. I sent them some content that I created that I thought may be helpful for them. And then in another week and another 2 weeks and beyond, I'm going to continue following up via email, or I'm going to share with them some content that I've created. Whatever it is that is your lead flow, make sure you have something so there's not so much desperation on that one call. Now, you just want to remember that you are offering to them a solution. You're not trying to get them to think that you're the best in the world, that you're, amazing. You want them to focus on not you, but the solution that you are offering. Okay. Second mistake is making the marketing all about you. Now, don't get me wrong, a little bit is going to be about you, but you want to make sure that you are shifting, again, the conversation and how you are presenting not only on calls, but online, from you to the prospect. Okay, so if you're showing up like, I am super passionate about these businesses, or I'm super passionate about what I do. I help these businesses. This is all the experience I've had. This is a client that I've worked with. You see, the thing is that local business clients, they don't care, at least not yet, right? They want to hear something entirely different from you up front. They want it all about them. And if you make it all about them and they're like, hey, I like this person, I think this could work, then they might have questions about you. and want to talk a little bit more about that. But you want to keep everything about them. And it also takes a lot of pressure off of you. So you want to keep the conversation around their revenue problems, any time stress that they have, their lack of leads or bookings or consistency around anything. That's what you want to be talking about. So make sure that you're talking less about you and make it a lot more about them. Now, the third mistake is if you have any like weird hangups about sales, pricing, visibility, any of that, that is going to cause hesitation on their end. So if you feel awkward selling to them, charging them for anything, if you feel awkward showing up online or on calls, clients feel that hesitation. Do not think that that is hidden and that nobody knows. They certainly feel that. So the problem really is, if you feel unsure, if you have that hesitation and they feel that, they're like, well, then why should I trust you with my business? It doesn't even sound like you're confident in what you're saying or that you truly believe in what you're saying. So if you're showing up, they're going to question you because they think you are questioning you, which is a very valid point. So what are some things that you can do to fix this? So you want to first work to normalize selling as problem solving. They are here in their business. They're struggling with this problem and you're working hard to bridge that gap to get them over here to where they want to be. However, you are selling that process. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this in between work to get you to the other side of the bridge, to where you want to be. And I am going to sell you that process. And that is solving their problem. That's what they want. That's why they even agreed to talk to you in the first place. So normalize that. They're getting a win and so are you. And that's how all business transactions should be. It's a win-win. You also want to practice saying your prices and saying them confidently. Practice saying them out loud. It does not matter if you want to say it to a wall, if you want to say it to a camera, if you want to say it into a mirror, if you want to say it to your mom, your friend, your whoever. Practice saying it out loud before you actually get on a call or you're sitting down in front of someone to have these conversations so you can say it in a way that comes across confidently. If you're able to say it in front of someone that you already know, that you feel comfortable with, that isn't going to be buying your services, just so they can give you feedback on, are they hearing any hesitation? How are you showing up? Would they feel that you are confident in what you're offering? And does that make them feel confident? That will really help you. Now, number 4 is the fourth mistake is being extremely needy on sales calls. So this often comes across in over-explaining. If you have a process and you over-explain what it is that you do, if you just kind of discount things too fast, or if you're just trying to really convince them, yes, do it, versus really trying to qualify them. So in my process, we go through qualifications. When I'm getting on the phone with them, before I go all into the quoting and finding out all about their business and just spending a great deal of my time, the first thing I'm doing is going through a series of questions to qualify them. Now, the reason that I'm doing that is because I don't want to waste my time if they're not the right fit for my business. I've set criteria for the clients I want to work with, and if they don't match, because they're the wrong industry, they're not the right size of business, or I don't think I can genuinely help solve their problem, I don't want to work with them. And that's not a win-win. Like I said, it should be a win-win for everybody, and I'm not going to just take them. So that also comes across very differently when you're saying, hey, I just want to make sure I'm actually going to help you. And I know we can help certain people. So I want to make sure that you fit into that criteria, because if not, this may not be the best fit. I might not be the right one for you. And that comes across the opposite of desperation, right? So how to fix this? Ask more questions than you answer, okay? You want to be asking them questions. Don't just be sitting there letting them interview you. Of course they can ask you questions. Of course they should ask you questions. That's wonderful. But make sure that you are asking them questions. Find out about their business. Ask them questions and then just be quiet. Let them do all the talking. They're going to love talking about their business or the issues that they're facing. They're going to give you so much information. You should not have to worry about what you need to say or what you need to be able to offer. So let silence work for you. Ask questions, and sometimes they might hesitate. Just Sit silently. Don't be afraid of the silence. Allow it to work for you, even though I know it can be uncomfortable, but just be there with it. Now, you just want to remember that this is the two-way street. That's why I talked about qualification. You are evaluating them as a potential client just as they are evaluating you. It is not a one-way street. So it shouldn't be that you're so hesitant that, oh, are they going to pick me? Are they going to pick me? But are you going to pick them? That's also a very fair question. So it should be that two-way street. All right. The fifth mistake that I see a lot of digital marketing entrepreneurs make is focusing on what you do not have. And I swear all of us do this, especially at the very beginning. What do we not know? What do we not have experience in doing? And these things are valid, but too much of it keeps us from taking any action and getting what we need to start growing into a six-figure digital marketing business. So we focus on, I don't have any case studies yet. I'm still building. I'm still trying to work on my business. I don't have a big audience. I don't have a lot of prospects in my funnel here. The thing is that these local business owners, they don't need perfection. What they need is results. And that's what you need to be focusing on. So to fix this, you want to make sure that you are focusing on talking about systems, strategy, giving them clarity. I've talked about this in another video, which I'll share in a bit, but this is about talking about how you're getting them from where they are to where they want to be. What is the process? What is your strategy from that? And focusing on that. And then focusing on what are the outcomes that you deliver right now. So I always like to look for not only what is it that we can do long-term, but what is it that we can do in the short term to kind of get some quick wins going, to build that trust, start seeing some momentum as we first start working with clients. Now, the sixth mistake that I see people make is believing, and this is so easy to do, believing the lies that imposter syndrome tells you. So this causes you to not believe enough in yourself. And we see this with undercharging for your services, over delivering. Now, don't get me wrong. Over delivering can be a great thing, having them expect this, but then the whole time you intended to give this, and you plan that into your pricing and your timing and all of that. That's a great thing to do. But sometimes we plan to give this, and then we keep adding and expanding, and then we're giving all this because we feel like we have to do that. We don't believe that we're enough without that. And then we play small. We don't push ourselves. We don't get outside of our comfort zone to really get our business where we need it to be to that six-figure level at least. And clients really sense this when we show up as that, because it's not coming across as genuine as if you really are just over delivering a bit. They see it as almost that desperation that we talked about in the beginning. So how do you fix this? First, you want to believe in yourself. That's going to take some practice. You want to believe in the results that you can get. If you don't have results, go get them. That is your job starting right now, is to go get some results so that you can believe in what you do. You are never going to believe in what you do until you go out there and you actually do the work. There's no way around that. So go do it. Believe in the training that you've had and any experience that you've started to gain. It does add value. You see, you got to remember that these business owners, they're not marketing experts. That's what you've been working towards. And so you have a lot more to show than they have for that. So confidence, as you're going to need to build, is going to come from repetition. So if you're not putting yourself in a situation where you're going to be able to practice these skills and repeat them, then you're not going to build that confidence. So you have to push past that and just go do it anyway so that you can start gaining that experience and not just sitting there waiting to feel ready, because I promise you that time will never come. Now, the seventh mistake that I see a lot of entrepreneurs make is lacking consistency in showing up. So if you're kind of like, well, I'm going to get clients by posting over here, but then you just don't really have any schedule. It's just kind of like 3 1 week and then nothing until the next month, or you have all these long gaps, or a burst of effort and then all of a sudden silence. That inconsistency signals instability to a client. So what would you be doing if you had 100 clients? What schedule would you be sticking to? And that's what you should be sticking to now, because the way to get to those 100 clients or that 6-figure mark that you're going for is to actually show up as though you already have that right now, because you would show up differently if you had that now than if you were still at the beginning of this. So show up in that way now, because that is what is going to attract that. So what I want you to do to fix this, pick one platform that you are going to be using. So we talk about like a simple lead flow here. What is that one thing that you're going to be doing? Pick that platform and commit to it. Do that one thing, the one thing. That's it. We don't have to be in 50 places. We don't even have to be in 3 places. Pick one, and you're going to do that consistency. And then just create a simple weekly content rhythm that you can get into so that you can start nurturing these, and then show up. Even if engagement is low, you might only be in front of 10 people, but guess what? 2, 3, 4 of them could become your clients. So show up in that way. Show up as if you have 100 active people watching you, looking for your services, not showing up, oh, I only have 2 people. Well, those 2 people might be highly interested. So show up as though you have a lot more, okay? That consistency is what's going to start building that trust before the call. So by the time you are speaking to a potential client, they've already built a lot of, or you've already built, I should say, a lot of trust with them. And that's going to really help on those calls. Now, the 8th mistake I see a lot of people doing is not looking professional online. So this goes back to, how would you show up? How would you present yourself online if you were a 6-figure digital marketing entrepreneur? Do you look like that now? And if you don't, you're not going to attract that. So if you have messy bios, you don't have a clear offer, you have confusing messaging, then local clients are going to look at that and decide if you're legit. And if you don't look it, then, well, you're going to struggle to get those clients and to hit that income mark that you want. So to fix it, well, you're going to clean up your profiles that you have online. Again, picking that one platform that you're going to show up at, and make sure that is cleaned up, polished, and looking good, right? Make sure that it's matching your website. That is looking good. Even if that is a 1-page website, because you're starting, that is perfectly fine. Make it awesome though, okay? Clearly state who you help. How do you help them? I help X accomplish Y. What are you helping them do? What are you helping them achieve, right? And then make it easy for them to contact you. Don't be afraid to put a phone number. Don't be afraid to have a form. Don't be afraid to put a booking link so they can get on your calendar. Make it easy and obvious for them to do. Now, the 9th mistake that I see a lot of digital marketing entrepreneurs make is projecting that insecurity over confidence, okay? I know you might feel insecure inside, and it's only going to get better as you take action and you get uncomfortable and you do it anyway. The sooner you do it, the sooner you'll be past it, and the sooner you're going to be on your way to exactly where you want to be, and that's when it's going to start happening for you. So you don't want to get in there and be over apologizing for anything. You don't want to be second guessing yourself or softening your recommendations. So if you're coming across saying things like, well, I think what we could do, you're soft spoken and, well, I think, it comes across very differently than saying, in situations like this, what I recommend you do is, see, you're speaking confidently, you're giving a direct recommendation that you're sounding like you're not afraid to give. Versus that hesitation. If you're hesitant with yourself, they're going to be absolutely hesitant with you. So make sure that you are projecting that confidence. Again, go back and have those conversations. Do it in front of a friend, do it in front of the camera, whatever, to help you just practice that ahead of time. Because these business owners are looking for a leader. They want someone to lead them in this process, not someone they're going to worry that they have to babysit. So make sure that you are just speaking in solutions, okay? I talk a lot here about selling the outcomes, not your actual skills, right? So make sure that you are talking about the outcomes, the solutions, the results. That's what they want to hear. And make confident recommendations. This is what I believe. This is what I see. This is what I do. And that way they feel the confidence in what you are saying, because you're not hesitating. Well, we could do this or we could do this. No, this is what I do. This is what I recommend. And here's why. Be confident about it. And because your perspective has value. You might hesitate and be unsure if it has value, but I guarantee you know a lot more than you think you do. And what you think has value. So share it. Now, the 10th mistake that I see is not speaking directly to a business owner's problem. So if your content is sounding generic, like it could work for any type of client anywhere, people tend to ignore it. So this is going to be part of polishing up how you are showing up online, because these business owners, they want to feel seen. So if you can speak specifically to their industry, let's say, and specifically about the problems you know that they are experiencing, that comes across entirely different than just some generic advice that could apply to 50 different businesses. They're like, no, I feel seen. I feel heard. This person gets me. They have a solution that could fix this problem. Let's do it. So this is where, to fix this, you want to talk specifically about things like low quality leads or no shows or inconsistent bookings, wasting ad spend, having to wear too many hats, having to hire too many people to handle these different roles, which is costing a lot. Now, you don't necessarily want to just talk about all those. You have to know which of those apply to the specific types of clients that you want to serve. And that's what you talk about. And that helps you come across entirely different in those conversations. So if you want to stop repelling clients, you want to start attracting business owners who really respect your expertise. You want to pay attention to how you are showing up before calls, on calls, after calls, and not solely just on what you offer. And if you are ready to go deeper, you want to clarify your audience. You want to clarify your specific offer, your messaging, your client conversion system. That's exactly what you work through in the Next Level program, which you can learn more about at portableentrepreneur.com/next level. Next that I recommend is that you watch my video, why you are not yet making six-figure selling digital marketing services, which I will link to here, and that will really help you know specifically what you need to work on to start getting to that income level.